both Prime Ministers elaborate a bit more about the significance of the RTS to both sides, given that the bilateral agreement was signed today. And the second part of my question is, in the context of the upcoming Malaysian election, given that the HSR and the RTS are long-term projects spanning several terms of government, how will the two governments ensure that the projects will be unaffected by political and other changes? Thank you.
Well, the RTS will enhance our connectivity with Malaysia, and particularly with Johor. It will replace the KTM link, which is now running on the causeway. It's a bridge which will come underground in Singapore and then connect to the Republic Station on the Thomson line. So the capacity will relieve the capacity on the causeway and on the CIQ at the causeway, and it will provide a convenient means for Johorians to come to Singapore to work or to play, and Singaporeans who go to Johor to study, to work, to shop. It's an ambitious project. It's quite complicated because it has to start above ground, cross the water, go underground, and then there's a CIQ underground, and it must connect. Then the people can come out and go into the Singapore MRT trains, but we hope we'll get it up by 2024, and I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be possible. Like all projects which involve more than one country and span more than one term of government, it requires long-term commitment. The commitment is formalized in the agreement which we signed between the two governments today.
The signatories
it's a binding
will now
agreement,
exchange documents.
And whoever is the government on either side, well, this is an agreement which they inherit and which they are party to. And if the subsequent government has other ideas, well, that will have to be dealt with, and the agreement will deal with these contingencies. But I have no doubt on Singapore's side, we have every intention of implementing what we signed and committed to today.
Well, on the RTS, I fully agree with what Prime Minister Sandung mentioned. It will provide the seamless connectivity and the volume that's required. The volume is high, it's about 10,000 per hour, which is the level that's required. In the future, it will replace the KTM. It's a complex project, but it's very doable, and the technical challenges can be overcome. So we are sanguine and optimistic that will change the nature of connectivity between Malaysia and Singapore. On the second question, we cannot determine what the electorate will decide, but we can offer our agenda for the people to decide. And we live in a democracy, and the people will decide, but we believe that they will decide on an agenda that's very meaningful and productive. And we believe in good relations with our neighbors, with Singapore, and we have proven that we can bring tangible benefits to the people if we work closely together. So that is the position of our government. The other side may have other ideas. We certainly do not want to return to the era of confrontational diplomacy and barbed rhetorics between our two countries. It was an era that we want to forget. We certainly do not want to come back to that era. And that is why we believe that the position of the current government is a position that will bring mutual benefit to both Singapore and Malaysia, and we stand by our policy, by our agenda, and by our ability to deliver real and tangible benefit to both the peoples of Malaysia and Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.